But what that tells me is that obviously demand has been great. Inventory now has jumped up. About 2 weeks ago, I think we're in the early 90s, maybe 92, 93, 94, and then went back to like 88 in the middle of the week. Now, 104 properties on the market. That's the current number, 104 properties. And that went up sometime last week. We went into that number, which means there's a lot of positives and negatives about that. We're going to talk about the impact.
So that is exactly what I saw about 3 months ago. That's actually replaying the video, the live stream I did early March, mid-March. And that was actually the turning point in the Villages marketplace. We saw an increase in inventory starting about that point. We're hovering in 80-90 range, and now we're over 230 properties. So what's interesting is that I'm in the middle of it with my agents, with people that are around the country, and it's easy to be in panic mode because we're actually increasing inventory the way we dropped inventory for about 18 months. So inventory is going straight through the roof. And there is, look, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on. I'll give you an update as to what we're seeing as a company, as what we're seeing from, from buyers and sellers. We're going to talk about that today. Is there a concern? Is there a real estate collapse? Is there, obviously we're probably in a recession economically, so we're going to talk about that. And I've actually had a couple of comments. It's interesting is that I'd say 95% of the people that are on our channel and the people that comment are, mostly positive people. And it doesn't take much to go from a seller's marketplace to a buyer's market. Thanks, Robin. And, so yeah, if you look at the definition of a buyer's marketplace, it's supposed to be 6 months worth of inventory. In other words, it would take 6 months for all this supply of homes to disappear if no new homes came on the market. However, I feel like I've got a different definition because I feel like we're in a buyer's market in the sense that, number one, it's a great time to buy because interest rates are going to go up. And I think there's an opportunity to get prices a little bit lower than what they've been. We're going to take a look at that. And, I preach to my people, and I've always told this to buyers and sellers that, look, we're supposed to help you, the public, with the transaction, help you buy, help you sell, and we're not supposed to be more attached to the outcome than you are, right? Like, I think that's really important, meaning we're not going to push you into selling or buying just because we're going to earn a commission. Like, we've been here since 2004 in the Villages. We're located on 466. We're located inside the Villages, actually the only company that's located inside the Villages. Our reputation is Queen, number one to us. And what that means is sometimes we just have to let something go. Like, if you don't want to sell or you don't want to buy, that's perfectly okay. But going back to what I said back in March, think about that. We're April, May, June. We're at 4 months, right? Like 4 months away from that. We've actually gone from, that was the first time we broke 100 in inventory. Now we're at 230. So big increase in inventory over this time period. My prediction is that we are going to be over 400 by the end of the year. I think we're and if I'm off on that, I think it'll be just slightly, because we're definitely heading towards the 300s. And what that means is, in order to get to that point, which is back to 2018, 2019 numbers, right? So we don't need to freak out if we're sellers. But what that does mean is time on market is taking a little bit longer, right? So we have to have, some understanding and expectations there. We do have to remember that the time on market back before COVID was, pretty much 60, 90 days in Marion County and, South Sumter County, Lake County, 30, 60 days. But this is MLS, 231 properties in the Villages on MLS. So we've got the good news is we got plenty to choose from now compared to what we saw 3-4 months ago. And, you're looking at properties that, we've got more to choose from that is under 300,000, right? Like that's super helpful for buyers. So more choice, that's good. I think you have the opportunity to make some offers. Does it mean you're going to steal a property? No. And I've heard that from a couple of people, like, oh my gosh, the market's collapsing. No, market is adjusting, like we've talked about, right? And that's, I think it's a healthy adjustment. We're not seeing ridiculous prices going the other way where people are selling, at the very bottom. But before we could barely find anything under 200,000, as you're seeing here. We got, these are obviously manufactured mobile homes on the historic side, but even that, those homes were going for over 100 for sure, and we're still seeing some of that. But to give you, let's look at some of the other properties that we're seeing. Now you can actually buy, there's a few patio villas that you can get, here, 280,000, under 300,000. Courtyard villas are still in that 325 plus range, but some patio villas have dropped down in price. So we're seeing that. So we're seeing less, we're seeing a lot of price reductions, and we're going to look at that in a minute. Look at the days on market. I want to highlight this number here. If we start looking at, let's look at, I'm going to organize it by, days on market. We're seeing a lot of homes that have been on the market for, 25 properties that have been on the market for more than 75 days, 70, 57, 56. If we start looking at maybe the median, you're probably going to be around 35 to 40. But, you're seeing days on market accumulate 50, 40. And we weren't seeing that. We might have seen maybe 20 properties that were over 25 days, and then we're seeing half the market over 30 days. So days on market accumulation, but a reminder that that's exactly what we saw back in 2018, 2019. So a little bit of a dose of reality, more properties on the market, more days on market, definitely predicated to, it's related to everything that we're seeing that's going on in the country for sure. Right? Wouldn't be surprised, Robin saying, wouldn't be surprised if some of them decide to take them off the market. Yeah, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think, obviously you need to find realtors that are going to have a real plan in place, because that's what it's going to take. Aggressive planning, ask that question, what are you going to do to get my home sold? I think is really important. From the buyer perspective, I would encourage people to buy, because I think there's a real opportunity for sure. I think we're starting to see prices come down a bit. We're absolutely seeing that. I said that I would actually report on it. Whatever is true is true. I'm not going to say that it's not happening. There are price reductions happening and the reason why, here's the reason why. The reason why is that you got really, really motivated sellers. So what's happening is the people that don't have to sell are not going to sell. That's what's, probably not going to happen. But the people that really, 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 I've got to move, I've got a real situation, health situation, life situation, and I really do need to sell, I'm seeing that. So what they're doing is, we got to be here to get the property sold. So that's where the price reductions are coming in. You're seeing it. And also with the people that listed too high, they're coming down. And we're going to continue to see that people are also going to buy. What I do want to share with you is, I want to share with you the numbers. So new listings, 41 new listings, right? Price decreases 55. So significant number. Sold, closed 45, and pending properties 25. So still seeing a difference between new listings 41, pending properties 25. That's why the inventory increase. So we need to be mindful and understand. So a little bit of understanding what's going on. Increase inventory, pending properties is still happening, but 25 is a little bit light. If we were in the 30 to 40 range, that would actually balance out the inventory, because we're also seeing some other stuff, withdrawals and canceled. That's 4 cancels, 1 withdrawn, 2 temporarily off the market. That's 7. And pending at 25 means 32 off the market, 41 new that came on the market. That's a differentiation of 9. So if we had about 34, 35 properties that were pending based on the 41 new listings, we would actually see a flat line in new inventory growing. My anticipation is, let's get used to this. It's not a big surprise. People will always want to buy in our community. We're seeing it, 25 pending. This week, 7-day numbers, MLS only. And we're going to see people, new properties come on the market. So with that kind of differentiation, with new listings and pending properties, that kind of differentiation there, we're going to see inventory growth. So overall, price reductions, lots of price reductions. Okay. I think if you're going to be on the market today, you've got to be below the comparables. We got to look at that. I'm also advising people to look at the comps from 2019. So right? Like, okay, the peak of the market, we missed the peak as far as the seller, by the way, but it's still a very warm marketplace for sellers because the appreciation factor is pretty great compared to 2019. So we got to have a comparison and understanding in relativeness here. So prices have gone up. They're not the best they've been for a seller, and they're still fabulous, but they're not as good. From the buyer standpoint, what I'm noticing is some buyers are really afraid right now, and then some buyers are not afraid because they're saying, I just want to enjoy the lifestyle. I want to enjoy my life right now, and let me take advantage of this time I have. Let me buy something I like. I might be able to get a little bit of a discount. I think that's that. So very interesting times for sure. And one of the things I'll probably do over the next couple of weeks is show you like why recessions don't necessarily mean bad real estate market. The last thing I want to show you and share with you is actually the interest rates actually flattened out a bit. So one thing I want to pull up for us is the interest rate. See if I can find it. Yes. So interest rate comparison. I'll share this with you. I've got a couple of slides that will be really, really interesting. Let's see. So let's look at this. So this particular slide shows, the current mortgage rate compared to the last 5 decades. 2010s, 4.09, 6.2 back in 2000s, 1990s, 8.12. And by the way, I wouldn't be surprised we're heading towards that, maybe spring of next year. That's what I'm getting from my mortgage professionals. That's what they're saying. So that's really interesting. That's a thing too. And, what we're also seeing is the last couple of weeks that the mortgage rates actually slightly went down and then flattened out. So we're going to see more, we're going to see maybe a little bit more time on that, but eventually the word I'm getting from the mortgage professionals, rates are going up by the end of the year. So that's why there's a good window of opportunity for both buyers and sellers. So if you have questions, let me know, 352-572-3796. And we'll see everybody. Happy 4th of July. Look, we still live in I think we live in the best community here in the United States. The Village is amazing, and Florida is amazing. And even though it's going to rain this afternoon, I'm looking at the clouds, and we're so fortunate to have what we have. There's so many crazy things going on around the world. So be thankful for that, and happy Independence Day to everybody. Take care.